This was obviously, a more exciting and more sustained rally up in here. You guys can see that we have been flagging pretty aggressively. Although I know a lot of people had these timeline expectations of what should happen and Bitcoin should have topped by now in the 4-year cycle and blah, 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 blah. This is really just fine when it comes to long-term price action and long-term bullish trends. If you want trends that last longer periods of time, generally these types of corrections are going to provide you that more extended rally because you are able to, create those new order blocks and create that new support. Beautiful flip of this previous resistance here from April, May, when we broke over these local tops in here. So again, seeing these tops busted through, even though they weren't maintained, was a good sign that we were maybe ready to move a bit higher here over longer periods of time. Obviously, the scan weight came all the way down to those areas of interest that we just discussed, right around 9 cents. And you have currently the double bottom that's sitting here that is holding quite strongly. So for me, I really would need to see a pretty big break and sustained price action below this area of interest in here in order for me to start, not thinking that we're in a continuous uptrend still. We don't have any major imbalances to the upside. We took care of all those with this really big retrace back here in January, almost breaking out to new highs there. Last thing we're going to bring into this to make it a little bit more forward looking is going to be cycle-based targets. So you guys can use these ranges in here. Some people are more short-term with their expectations. Maybe they're using this range in here. You guys can use this range in here. When you get these bigger pieces of price action, you guys can, take a look at some of the different areas and see what's good for you. Some people don't want to look for, that far into the future. I still think a lot of these areas of interest are good cycle-based targets. Always TP1 should be the most aggressive TP, removing your initial investment and then some. Of course, TP2 also being relatively heavy, and then TPs 3 and 4 can maybe be a little bit smaller because those are really your moon bags. The ROI from these extensions becomes very, very dismal at a certain point, and it actually starts introducing a lot of risk to keep too much exposure up into those final targets. So very bullish on HBAR technology. I think that there's, a really good technical story being told here right now. There's still room for chop and accumulation to occur, but, pointed to those areas of interest for you guys to kind of be paying attention to. If that deep value was presented, that's where you would kind of want to be aggressive with deployment there.